You want the guys to learn from the experience Tuesday night going forward?
Well, first of all, you want it to hurt, and then I want you to look in the mirror and be like real, no delusion. They were a better team. They played as a team. They worked together. We worked against each other. They played harder with more of a chip, which is usually us. And I'll even go farther and say they were better coached than we were. Let's all look at it and let's learn and move on. No practice yesterday. I was like jacked to get started, but we had to give them a day off. And so we're going to watch some film here in a minute. And then we got to move on. We got a game Friday, and we got a tough one. And just so everybody understands, I was never intoxicated or blown away by Bahamas, because everybody kind of goes back. There weren't game plans. There weren't teams that would grind it out and move it, and move in on defense. And there were things that I saw. I know then and I know now we have a chance of being really good. But I knew even then, boy, we got a ways to go. And so that may have hurt us more than helped us. This may have helped us more than hurt us. We just got to see.
John, what do you mean when you say you worked against each other?
I thought our team, each guy we were out there, instead of playing for each other, they were trying to get theirs. I had one guy call me and say, it looked like your guys had their hair on fire. I had another guy say, and they were just so quick, one pass, and guys were people all over them shooting it anyway, driving. The game was, it was a 12-point game. I mean, and we took 3 bad shots, quick, contested, basketball, all of a sudden timeout. What are we doing here? Start the second half. All right, we're okay. Even though it should be 10 or 12, it's 7, we're okay. Okay, now it's 23, timeout. Stopping the bleeding, they don't know yet what that means. I'm gonna ask them in there. Do you know what stop the bleeding means? Band-Aid. Hold it. I mean, I don't think they understand that, you know, some things that we're going to have to get down. And then I got to, like I told them, we got to get 5 guys who will fight like heck and leave them in and play them as long as they can play. Find those 5 that'll fight together and play together and leave them in. And then the rest of you will sub when they need a break. So.
John, one thing you said after the game that stuck in my mind was that you guys had to run plays to get good shots. Yeah. Duke could just spread the floor and clear a space. Does that put even more premium on playing hard and so on?
Well, I think they played exactly how they're going to play, which is space. They didn't run any plays. They just and take him, throw it to the post, take him, throw it here. If you get doubled, throw it to me. They shot the ball that night extremely well. And I think teams will probably pack it in more, which the game plan was to. I know it didn't look that way, but that's again, the Bahamas really focus on how we got to do this together. That was the first one that we didn't, and you get pounded by it. But I'm just telling you, they played harder than us. They came up with 50-50 balls. We still are trying to figure this out. Like, we started the game, not one post pass. Come on. You know what whose fault that is? Mine. Because obviously, if I'm telling them what to do, they'll do it. They'll do what I'm asking them to do. So if I didn't make it a point, like, there are things that I think they know. They don't know. They don't. Well, you got some returning players. They didn't play well either. I mean, it wasn't like, this was, this is one that you grow from, you learn from, and it changes your whole mentality about how you approach, or it kind of caves you in. We're going to see. And we're playing an opponent. Southern Illinois brings back their 4 leading scorers. They've got inside players that can really play. They shoot the ball well. A team that can beat us. If we don't play harder than they play, you lose, and we move on to the next game. At some point, you get every game, and you try to tell them they don't understand. Duke played with a chip. they were going to show us that they were better. And each individual player was going to show our players they were better. And maybe their coach was showing me he was better. But they all had a chip on their shoulder. That's us, my whole career. That's what it's been about. And so, did we get arrogant? All of us, me included? I don't know. We're going to find out. But I woke up, got about 4 hours sleep. We got in at 3:30 in the morning and came in. I was mad we didn't have practice. I don't get to see that. I couldn't even meet him. Couldn't have an individual meeting. Couldn't talk. Couldn't say you're going to be okay. If that happened, then we'd have had problems. Because it was a day off. Then I would have had to take today off.
Cal, those questions about the mindset, does that have anything to do with why you changed the normal pattern and didn't have players talk to that?
No, tell me why you did that.
Haven't met, haven't practiced, no film.
Hey, he said we're not having the players. I said, why is that? If you guys want, I'll bring Jamal Baker out. If you want to meet somebody, we'll have him come out after I'm done.
Are you guys an execution team? Is that what that means about we got to run plays?
No, we can fly. I mean, we can open up the court. I think we did at times. But we took bad shots, quick, contested. Guys were acting like it was high school. And then when we got down, I'm going to get mine now. What? You don't play that way at Kentucky. You tried to get yours, and now we're down 30. Well, why'd you do that? Well, you know, he did it. Oh, really? So he does it, so you do it. What about him? And then we had one place we could throw the ball and get something good other than running stuff, and that was Reed. Well, teams are going to double team him. I mean, you know, look, I'll say it again. I like this team. I like the people, the players, the way they treat each other. Now we got to have a little chip. We got to get hungrier. You know, I was calm that whole game. Matter of fact, was really positive. I didn't say much. I mean, I really didn't. Even halftime or after. I didn't raise my voice but once or twice, just to, like, why would you do that? Like, once or twice. But maybe I need to coach like I did at the beginning of last year, if you remember. You remember how I coached at the beginning of last year? I was like the point guard. I became the point guard on the sideline until I could start backing up, until Shea got real good and I could say, just go do what you do and we're good. Maybe I got to do that. I'm still learning how to coach these guys individually and collectively. But I say this, they got to go play. Just go play. Go battle. Be who you are. If the other guy outworks you, you should not be in the game. And don't expect to be in the game. It's been pretty much my history as a coach. If you didn't dive on the floor, I took you out. He takes me out every time I don't dive on the floor for a ball. Are you saying that publicly to everybody? Please do that. Nothing to do with missed shots or turnovers. It's fight. 50-50 balls. How many did we get? None. Not one. We had guys jumping in because we didn't put a body on somebody. A guy, I'm like, who the heck is that? Where'd he come from? So, but I'll tell you, you know, thank goodness, as much as I hated that to be our first game, thank goodness it was our first game. Could you imagine if we learned this game 5, game 7, we had 5 wasted games and then go get smacked and no, oh my gosh. So we have time. Today, we're going to get after it, but we got a game tomorrow. We didn't get back till 3 what?
It was go up to 3, yeah.
John,
Is that one of the reasons you don't have players out here?
John, so much of Ashton's game is stealing the ball. And the first 2 times he went for a steal the other night, he got whistled for a foul both times. What do you say to him in that regard, as far as being aggressive?
Again, I want him to be aggressive. I didn't see him being, you know, I know he went after it. I'd rather him go and deflect balls. Like, we didn't get any deflections. We didn't create turnovers. There's a lot of stuff that we weren't able to do that has to be who we are. But we're going to get back after it. I haven't lost any faith. I mean, look, I've been doing this so long. Man, have I coached 1,000 games yet?
You're getting close.
I mean, 1,000. Think about it. Why am I still coaching? That's one of them. Let me ask you that question. If I've coached 1,000 games, but you know, this hasn't happened very often. But when it does, it needs to happen. needs to happen. And for all of us, me included now, you think this thing's easy? It's not easy. Never going to be easy. I coach at Kentucky.
John, you said the other night after the game that you were going to spend more time with the point guards. What do you want to get across to them?
Well, situational, focus on game plan, trying to figure out where, like, I've had all kind of different point guards. Like, Shea kind of spoiled us. Shea became like John Wall and Brand. You know, he became, and he's in the NBA doing that. Well, we don't have that guy. He's not on the roster. Do I play him like I played my UMass point guards? When I had Derek and when I had Edgar Padilla, do I play my point guards that way, which is more of a facilitator than the guy that's going and I'm still learning. I'm trying to figure it out. And that's what happens. If I thought we could do some of the stuff, just spread the court and you go beat the guy, come on, you're watching the game. We don't have those guys. It's not who we have. But I'm telling you, we have really good players. We just got to be a little bit more in tune to how we have to play to win basketball games, how you stop the bleeding, how you finish people, how you get somebody down and get it to 20, 25. What is a good shot? What is a bad shot? Here's the other one. Do I try to create opportunities for different guys by doing different stuff? You know, how do we get Nick involved? I'm really, I just thought Nick would be better right now. And so, okay, what do I do to help him get going? How do I do this? I'm not saying this ain't, most of this falls back on me, on my shoulders. They want to do right and they want to win and they know what uniform they're in and they know what that means. I don't do the social media, so I can't imagine. I don't read it. I could care less. Somebody said, you're a fan. I know this. When I walked in that arena, that was 75% Kentucky fan. I do know that. And they travel and they want to win and they care. You know, if some of them are saying stuff, I'm not reading it anyway. So all I know is they're into this. And I watched the tape twice. I'm telling you, well, if anybody watched that tape 3 times, they're out of their mind. Some of them shouldn't have watched it at all. Burn the tape. Don't ever look at that tape. But
Cal,
Got time for one more.
what's it like as a coach on mornings like this when a document comes out from this trial and you never know what names are going to be on it, what aren't, whether there's real connections or not? Just how do you deal with that as a program?
well, the best thing about coaching here is you coach basketball. And what you're talking about, our administration and compliance are so thorough, doubly thorough, that I trust everything is fine. They get parents involved. I mean, they go to a point where it's uncomfortable for me. You shouldn't be having to do this. But then this, you say, hey, I'm glad you guys do that. So, you know, my job here is coaching basketball. And for this right now, I got to coach this team. Just keep coaching the team. I'm not listening. I don't care. I'm not hearing anything. My whole mindset is, how do I coach this team to get them on the path that they get it, where the light bulb goes off and they all say, wow. And I think it's pretty clear if you watch that, some of the stuff that we got to get right.
All right, thanks, folks.